What's poppin', y'all? Today, we're going to be taking a look at what if Trunks didn't return after his initial visit. I was talking about DBZ with a buddy of mine, and we were kind of just talking about how Trunks was like the main impact on the whole entire Android and Cell saga and everything from beyond. So we're going to go ahead and just take a look at what would have happened if he never would have came back.
The future timeline is seemingly the darkest point ever in Dragon Ball. The main character is for the first time killed by natural causes. The rest of the Z Fighters are all tragically killed, except for Gohan, who had his dream of becoming a scholar stripped away from him, forcing him to become a fighter prematurely. Surviving almost alone, what was left of our cast was Bulma and Trunks. He attempted to pass on martial arts, but before he could, Gohan was tragically also killed, leaving Bulma and Trunks alone. We only see a slight shine of hope when Bulma is able to create a time machine, and Trunks returns to the past to warn the Z Fighters of the threat to come. But as Trunks leaves, he makes a promise to Goku. A promise to return in 3 years when the androids first show up. But what if he didn't return? In these events, Trunks, somewhere along the 3 years of evasion and deceit, slips up, and tragically he is murdered by androids 17 and 18. So now that the story is set up, let's continue. We start our story with the battle of Piccolo and Dr. Gero. Things before this would remain exactly the same. Things really only start to change here because this is where Trunks was first arriving. With no Trunks to disrupt the fight this time, we immediately start seeing some changes, and Piccolo is actually able to defeat Dr. Gero, destroying him, meaning that Dr. Gero couldn't escape this time, already creating a completely different story. Following this, Bulma and of course baby Trunks show up. Bulma, after hearing of what Piccolo did, she laughs, saying that she didn't know Piccolo was so strong. Piccolo taking a bit of offense to the comment. Regarding Dr. Gero,
So without Trunks being able to be there and identify Android 19 and 20 as Dr. Gero, does that mean that the other androids will never be activated? I mean, I guess we're about to find out, but I assume then the other androids will never be activated. So Cell coming back in time is gonna be their only concern. Maybe we'll have to see.
she informs the group of his lab, stating that that's where Gero was most likely to fly if he was trying to escape from Piccolo. The group decided to check it out to tie up any loose ends, Vegeta more notably agreeing, but for different reasons. As the group heads to the lab, they find 3 pods, which of course hold the sleeping androids. With this, Piccolo steps up, ready to destroy the 3 pods, but just before he can, he's knocked out by Vegeta, the rest of the group demanding to know what Vegeta is doing. Remember, Vegeta at this point is still an entirely different character. It's not until after the Cell arc where he gets the sort of character development that he would need to avoid the situation. This
I feel like we really don't see that character development with Vegeta until like the Majin Buu arc, like after he comes back to life to help Goku fight Buu. Before they do the Vegito Potara fusion. But I feel like up until that point, like Vegeta didn't really have much character development. After the Cell Saga, he just gave up fighting. I wouldn't say that's really development. But just let me know in the comment section how you feel about it.
This Vegeta is bent on proving he's stronger than Goku, even saying that he still plans to kill him in this arc. If Vegeta seek justification by any means, releasing a threat like this would be nothing to Vegeta. So with that, Vegeta would go on to awaken all 3 of them, not caring of the repercussions of this mistake. When the 3 androids awaken, he meets them, saying he hopes they had a nice nap, pointing to himself, saying they're gonna need all the power they can muster up to defeat him. 17 and 18 scoff, and quickly awake Android 16. Reminiscent of their first battle, with no regards, Android 18 embarrasses Vegeta and glares at the rest of the Z Fighters, saying that they can tell they're not worth the time, 18 leaving Vegeta on the ground, defeated. She then calls 17 and 16 over to leave, but before she can, she spots Krillin, glaring at him, making a comment saying that he doesn't look bad, kissing him on the cheek like in canon. As the androids finally take their leave, the Z Fighters at their
That nigga Krillin's still pulling bitches.
lowest, Yamcha and Tien take Piccolo and Vegeta over to Goku's house, praying.
I don't. Oh, okay. I guess yeah. This is where the initial run was because I was just about to say I don't think Yamcha was actually there when the androids beat them up because he took Goku back because Goku had the heart sickness. But I guess in this, I'm not exactly sure where Goku is actually. But I guess since Yamcha never had to take him back, he was there. So I don't know. Maybe Yamcha's the difference maker.
praying that he's awoken, but along the way they're met by Goku, who used instant transmission to find his way here. Gohan excitedly hugs his father. Vegeta, who's now awake, can't stand to even look at Goku.
So has Goku not been affected by the heart virus, or did he just take the medicine already that Trunks gave him 3 years ago? I don't. They didn't explain anything. They just threw this nigga Goku in here.
In the state he's in, Goku making a comment that Vegeta looks pretty roughed up, Vegeta telling him to shut up. It's this point where Goku is told about the androids and how Vegeta made an idiotic mistake. Goku stops the Z Fighters, sort of laughing, saying that he knows why Vegeta did it, and he most likely would have done the same thing. He looks to Vegeta, saying that he must have really wanted to surpass him, which only further angers Vegeta.
Yo, this nigga Goku, this nigga be disrespectful. God damn. Not only did he tell that nigga, yo, you look like you just survived a car accident, but he also told that motherfucker, man, you really must want to be stronger than me. You got a long way to go, bucko.
Goku then goes on to explain, with a threat like this, they need the time chamber if anything. If they were able to do that to Vegeta with no sweat, not even Goku was ready to fight the trio. He explains the properties of the time chamber to Vegeta, explaining what it is, and how in there he has all the time in the world to fight him. Vegeta scoffs at the idea, saying he'd much rather die than be trapped in a room with Goku for much less than 2 minutes. After some convincing, the group heads to the time chamber, and immediately Vegeta drags Goku into the time chamber. A pretty big change from canon. As the Z Fighters are stuck at the lookout, Gohan is a bit upset, wondering why his father hadn't even thought of dragging him in. Piccolo, seeing this, sighs, telling the boy to not worry. They're next up.
Yo, I feel like if Goku and Vegeta going in there, I mean, yo, that probably would have been the best thing to take down Cell in the original series and canon series anyway. I mean, I know that Goku was trying to prep Gohan, and Trunks like had something to prove to his dad or whatever that shit was. But I mean, honestly, I mean, Goku and Vegeta, training with each other for a year undisturbed. I mean, I feel like they would have came out strong enough to take down Cell. Y'all let me know in the comment section what you think about that.
Gohan getting really excited, with Piccolo asking if he really thought just because his dad had woken up, if he could truly skip out on his training. Gohan telling Piccolo he's the best. And he really means it. Exiting the
I have a challenge for all of you. Go to every computer in your house, your mom's, your dad's, your sister, your brother's computer, and install Honey. Wait, Mom, before you...
Hey, fuck you, man. My brother doesn't have fingers. That motherfucker can't use his computer, bro. Disrespectful.
Exiting the time chamber, we see a completely different Vegeta.
I think I need to just quit this fucking video. That nigga just disrespected my fingerless brother.
Goku in canon, in less time, was able to go further, see a completely different Vegeta. Goku in canon, in less time, was able to go further, utilizing Super Saiyan at its maximum benefits, much more than Trunks and Vegeta did. Seeing this, Vegeta would practically be forced to admit his methods aren't working and train using Goku's methods. Coming out of the time chamber, the aura from the two is a completely new and different one. Gohan specifically is amazed at how his father and Vegeta are remaining in their Super Saiyan forms naturally, planting the idea of such a thing inside of Gohan's head. But of course, first he'd have to actually unlock Super Saiyan. And with this, Piccolo grabs Gohan, the two also going in the time chamber. Inside the time chamber, we would begin to see a new Gohan. His bond with Piccolo was stronger than it had ever been. Gohan gave it his all while training with Piccolo, Gohan even unlocking Super Saiyan inside of the Room of Spirit and Time. Piccolo amazed at how far Gohan could come in such a short amount of time. Exiting the time chamber, Vegeta
I mean, it wasn't a short amount of time. It was a year, but hey, schematics.
would immediately seek the androids. This Vegeta, with the added on training with Goku, is much more powerful and ends the android threat immediately. Goku and Gohan offer their help to Vegeta. The only reason Goku and Gohan didn't go help him is because Vegeta refused, saying he didn't need their help. Crisis was averted. The androids were defeated. Cell not even happening, but the saga was not yet finished.
Wait, how does Cell not happen? Does the future Cell still not come back in time? I mean, I guess Cell wouldn't really be too much of a threat for them if they've already trained in the hyperbolic time chamber, because, I mean, Imperfect Cell, before he absorbed, like, all those people, could barely take on Piccolo, so, I mean, like, when Piccolo, Tien, Krillin, and Trunks showed up to the scene, I mean, motherfucker Imperfect Cell was sweating bullets. That nigga hit a solar flare and got out of there.
Goku remembered back to the beginning of this. He remembered Trunks' promise, the one he made to Goku all those years ago, promising that he would return in 3 years. But as we know, this did not happen.
My bad. I don't mean to keep interjecting, but I'm just curious. Like, why is Cell? Why does he not show up? Because he should have been here by now, shouldn't he? Because if I'm not mistaken, he showed up a year before Trunks ever came back and even warned them about the android. So, and he was like in his larval form, buried under the ground. So, yo, Cell should actually still be here. That's still a crisis y'all need to deal with. Come on, Z Warriors, get your shit together.
Taking his time to think, Goku goes over to Bulma, and as she already knew Trunks was a time traveler, Goku wouldn't have to keep any secrets this time. Goku asks her if it's possible to visit Trunks in the future, and at first she says no, but then she says to give it a bit of time, and it will be. When Trunks first arrived, and Bulma learned of his time travel deceptions, it intrigued her, pushing her to start her own research on the subject. Although Goku was a bit upset that he couldn't go immediately, he took the spare time to train, and after a while, Bulma tells Goku it's ready, Goku asking Gohan if he's up for it, saying that as they didn't even get to fight the androids, it's only fair that they get to do something of their own. Besides, Goku wanted to see what Gohan got up to in the time chamber with Piccolo, and just like that, the two are off, visiting the future together.
Wait a second, but how did they both fit in the time machine? Cell could barely fit in there on his own.
Goku, in hopes of finding Trunks,
Isn't the time machine like a fucking one-seater?
Gohan, in hopes of impressing his father. Oh, and I should mention, the two would practically have to lie to Chi-Chi to even be allowed on this journey. But hey, father-son bonding, so it isn't a complete lie. This being their first time in the future, the two are shocked at what they see. It's almost all destroyed, and they sense almost nothing. But Goku hopes for the best, pushing forward together. After a while, something completely catches them off guard. They finally feel something. It's an immense power, and it's right behind them. They turn around, and they're shocked at what they see. A large light green man. This of course being Perfect Cell. But how could this be? With Trunks being murdered, Cell had no one to steal the time machine from. He hid amongst the future, and eventually he was able to absorb androids 17 and 18.
Yo, are you kidding me? Imperfect Cell with like probably 7% of the world population left to absorb was able to overpower androids 17 and 18? God damn.
With no one to stop him, Perfect Cell was a message of the misfortune that the future timeline had held. Cell, with one smile, looks to the two. Son Goku, I didn't expect to see you here, releasing a bit of his energy, which changes the atmosphere completely. Gohan is feeling true fear, while Goku is attempting to back. Feeling Cell's key, he knows it's all around a negative presence, so immediately he demands to know if the thing knows anything about Trunks, still hoping for the best in this situation. I have a name, you know. It's Cell. He then tells him, and as for Trunks, he's dead, I'm afraid, but I hope you're glad to know it wasn't by my hands. Goku is shocked hearing this news, and he's immediately forced to hold himself back. Goku thinks of the timeline, only seeing the destruction, thinking of everything that Trunks told him about it, every little thing that went wrong. Chi-Chi was gone. Krillin was gone. His son is gone, and what hurts the most, Trunks is gone. This hurting the most because he knows he
Trunks being gone is worse than his son being gone? The fuck, how does that work? Y'all let me know in the comment section. Is the homie more important than your kids?
could have done something to stop it. If only Goku had asked Trunks to stay in his time. If only this, if only that. 1,000 thoughts went through Goku's head, the power swelling in Goku. For one last moment, Goku once again remembered the promise Trunks had given him, as to which Goku took for granted when he asked him if he would return in 3 years. And with that last thought, Goku let go. With the power still swelling within him, tears start swelling within his eyes. Even Gohan took notice. He didn't understand his father's hatred, but this was the first time he had seen him cry like that. Goku originally, he had it planned out. If anything were to happen in the future, this was Gohan's time to shine. But he didn't care anymore. This was personal. Goku completely let go. Goku's hair had changed. His power was incredible, something that even impressed Cell. Goku then started to speak aloud. I failed this timeline. I left the job to Gohan. I left the job to Trunks, but I'm not gonna let that happen again. Becoming the first Super Saiyan 2 in history, the destruction of Cell had started. Goku let it all out. All of his anger, all of his animosity. Eventually the beatdown would stop, but Goku was still angry at himself. He knowingly let Trunks go back, knowing there was a threat, punching the ground below him, long after Cell had been killed. Goku looked back at his son, who had a face of true fear. Goku understood now. He was scaring his own son. He needed to stop. Reverting back down to his base form, he apologized to Gohan, saying he might have gotten a bit out of hand. To Goku, Gohan looked just like a child again, thinking it wasn't too long ago. Continuing, he tells Gohan, "Heh, I was right, you know. And this time, I failed you, Gohan. And I promise, I never will again." Gohan himself began tearing up, but he didn't understand why. He hadn't understood anything that had happened so far, but he knew one thing. He loved his father. This leaves us with a far more powerful than in canon Goku, a Super Saiyan 2, achieving it even before his own son, Gohan. As Goku's more powerful pre-time skip, after the time skip he only becomes stronger. Gohan also would become very strong along the time skip, most likely even be able to acquire Super Saiyan 2 naturally, after the original Super Saiyan grades. With this, Gohan would be far more powerful than in canon as well, meaning that people like Deborah, if the two were to face, Gohan would just end up defeating him easily. I hope you guys get what I'm trying to say, but basically the Boo saga for the most part wouldn't happen, or it'd be resolved very quickly.
I'm not 100% sure about that. I mean, because with the androids gone and no immediate danger to the Earth, I just feel like when the Earth isn't in peril, like I mean, Goku's still kind of training like around the house and shit. Gohan's doing homework. Vegeta's still getting active, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like they might have been able to take down like Deborah and Spopovich and all of them, and if they could prevent Babidi from unleashing Boo, then sure. But even with Goku still being alive and them naturally gaining Super Saiyan 2, which I'm sure that Vegeta would as well. And I mean, I still don't think they're strong enough to be Majin Buu. And I'm also, I don't know, with Goku being alive, how does that affect Goten being born? Like, how does it affect Goten's whole timeline and his birth and everything? I don't know, a lot of questions, but uh,
But who knows? Lord Beerus is still out there, and he's yet to be awoken at all. If you guys would want to see that someday, make sure to comment down below, and like this video of course, and subscribe if you haven't already for more content like this.
all right, yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, let me know what you talk about next in the comment section. Got a lot more power content coming this week. I haven't been talking about Raising Canaan, but that will end this week. Like I said, a lot of power content going on. I might start talking about The Sopranos. We got some more Dragon Ball Z content, and anything else you guys want me to talk about, like literally anything. I will check out anything. Let me know in the comment section. And I guess I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.